Hello everyone, welcome to Recursive Gaming and episode number 4 for Monster Super League, my free-to-play beginner's guide for early game players. And I wanted to show you two things really quick before we start the video. And the first is, I forgot to mention this, I should have mentioned it in, honestly, video 1. First thing should have been tip number 1. Very early on, the game gives you something here in your mailbox that looks like this, okay? But it says 29 days. Here, instead of 1 hour, it'll say EXP for 29D, for 29 days. Go ahead and use that right away. You want to use that on your first day or maybe your second day, just to make your leveling experience much faster. Basically, you're going to be benefiting from double XP for the next month. And it's useful to use that right away as a new player. It makes your leveling up process much smoother. As you can see, my mons are only level 33. I've been grinding a little bit after my last video, and as you can see, my 3 stars here that I was working on before are up to 26 and 27. I realized that I had forgotten to do the double XP boost for 30 days, and I felt really dumb, honestly, because that should have been active from the beginning of my game. If that's going to be active from the beginning of your game, your mons are going to be leveled up much faster, much sooner than mine, and you honestly should be able to make progress even faster than me. So don't forget to do that, guys. Use your double XP boost for the first month, and then you won't run into a wall where you can't progress as soon as I did. And I've made really fast progress with this account because I know a lot more than when I played my previous account. But as you can see, I'm still learning stuff, guys. Or I make small mistakes and I forget to use my double EXP boost. So don't forget your double EXP boost. Go ahead and pop that, and that will help you level up and make sure you don't hit that wall like I did. So then I wanted to show you some 2 stars that you can level and use if you're not lucky with summons, or if you're doing what I'm doing and saving all of your Astro Gems for summoning for like a clan festival or something like that, because it doesn't make much sense to summon and use all of these Astro Gems if you're not during a clan festival. So if you're joining the game for the first time and it's not a good time to summon, don't feel bad, go ahead and save these. You're going to be able to make plenty of progress and have an easy time of the game, still get lots of great units. You can wait to summon until then, not a problem. That's what I'm doing with this account, and as you can see, I'm having no problems. It's going great. So we all know about the squirrel, right? So I Evo 3'd him. I chose the fire type, so that way I could use him in Golem 8 if I wanted to, so he's not at a disadvantage, because the normal one people advise you to use for Evo 3 early game is the wood type that you run into very early on in the game, and they give you a free variant for. So the wood one is great because it comes with defense decrease. Right, so that's an excellent skill on skill 3 is defense decrease. It especially helps you when you're starting out as a new player and you don't have a defense decrease, going into, let's say, gold dungeon, where you're fighting against the boss and you're trying to kill it as soon as possible, but you don't have high level mons yet, so that defense decrease can help you do that. It's basically going to help you take down bosses faster, so it is useful for that reason. You can also use the red one. The red one is also good for landing that attack down debuff. So also a decent unit. It's a good 3-star, or a good Evo 3 to have. It's going to be worth building. I'm not sure how much he'll use it, but he'll be useful for a fire team until I get something better. And he's at Evo 3, he's going to have higher stats and be better than a Nat 4. Okay, so he is only a Nat 2, but he's going to have higher stats than a Nat 4 because he is Evo 3. Evolution is so important in this game, and Evo 3 monsters have a huge, significant stat boost. There's also something that's not mentioned when you Evo. I might as well just tell you here. Something that doesn't show here, and something that people don't talk about when they review monsters, and if you watch other content creators who review monsters, all they do is they go to the Astro Guide and they do an evaluation of their skills, okay, and they tell you what's good and what's not, and that's valid. That's all really fantastic, valid information. But none of them talk about is the difference between Evo 1, Evo 2, and Evo 3. And some monsters gain way more from an evolution than others. For instance, here we go with the squirrel, okay? This guy at Evo 3 hits 3 times with his skill 1. He throws 3 acorns, that's his limit, okay? When he's Evo 1, down here, he only throws 2 acorns, all right? That may seem not like a big deal, Okay, so I Evo 3'd him, he gained an extra acorn, so he does a little more damage. So what? Yeah, that's because he's a 2-star and because it's not much of a difference. However, Arthur, from Evo 1, hits, I think, 3 or 4 times with his skill 1. At Evo 2, that goes up at least 1 or 2 times. But at Evo 3, Arthur hits like 6 times with his auto attack, guys. That's twice as much as a squirrel. Oh, sorry, here he is. I keep losing where he's at. So Arthur, his auto attack will hit harder because he hits more. He gains more hits per evolution with his animation than the squirrel does. So certain monsters gain so much from an evolution, not just because of their stats and their skills and also the other stuff that comes with evolution, but also because their attack animation changes. They actually get more hits. For instance, Mona. On Evo 1, here, base unit Mona, her ultimate skill, skill number 2, is only going to hit, I think it's 3 times. Okay, she throws 1 wave of coral thicket, of little crystals that come up from the ground. At Evo 2, she gets another hit or 2. At Evo 3, she summons like 3 of these coral thickets, and it's a lot more hits. Okay, so it's not just the stats, alright? It's not just the stuff that you can see, but what's not mentioned, what's not talked about, is the fact that they gain more hits. Their animations actually increase, and they gain more damage from their hits. They get more hits as you Evo them up. So this guy at Evo 1, a Nat 4, or even this guy at Evo 1, Nat 5, is going to do less damage if you have a Nat 2 at the same level, but the Nat 2 is Evo 3'd. The Nat 2 is going to do more damage because at Evo you get so much more than just the stats. And even the stats alone will give him advantage. But he gets even more than that. So Evo is very important in this game, more than you realize. And you'll notice what I'm talking about with the animations and how you gain extra hits as you play the game yourself. And you'll be like, wow, okay, so I'm not just hitting harder because of stats, I'm also hitting harder because I gained extra hits. Yes, that's a thing. Alright, so Evo is very important. It changes everything about the monster. And it's so important. And that's why we advise people who have been playing this game for a while will advise on what Nat 2 and Nat 3 monsters you should use, because you can Evo 3 them as a new player much faster and easier than others, just because it's so much more difficult to evolution them. It's difficult to get gleams, and it takes a while. So long story short, don't discount the 2 and 3 stars because they can really help your game. Alright, so we're going to talk about some other 2 stars besides the squirrel. Here we go with the green fungus. I'll go ahead and show you where they are on the map. Alright, we all know where the green squirrel first shows up, okay? The wood squirrel, defense down, 60% chance for 2 turns. Really good for a starting character. Worth using him because of that. Here we go with the fire squirrel, okay? Yeah, if you want the attack down, you can use him. Let's keep going. People will tell you the Cotteens are worth using, okay? So they might tell you that you can raise a Cotteen because it's like a free 2-star healer that's pretty good. But I disagree. You really want a healer with a passive heal that's going to be healing you constantly. Or you want a healer that has SP drain or SP generation on the first skill. This guy that we just looked at, where is he? He has SP drain on the first skill. Right here, SP siphon. But if the enemy monster does not have SP, he doesn't gain any SP. So this skill is not as useful as it sounds. It actually doesn't help him to get his heal up as often as you would think. Let's say you will arrive at a new wave of monsters. It's a fresh wave, they have no SP. He's going to use this and gain nothing from it. Okay, so it's not going to help him get his heal up at all. It's going to help a little bit against bosses. Alright, it's going to help against monsters if it's the second or third wave or whatever. You've been there for a few turns. But in general, this is not as useful as a skill that gives you SP. Right? And as you can see, none of the Cotteens have that. Not a single Cotteen has an SP generation skill. As opposed to, let me show you what an SP generation skill looks like. You should have seen this by now. Okay, it's called a morale boost. Grants a 100% chance to restore 20% of own SP when attacking. This is guaranteed to fill her SP bar by 1/5, 20%. Alright, so this is what you're looking for on a healer. Not all healers have this. In fact, I would say it's pretty rare to find a healer that has this. But when you do, make sure you hold on to that healer, because it's going to mean that they use their actual heal ability a lot more often, and they're going to be much better at actually keeping your team alive. Okay, so those are the healers for early game players that, you know, need the heal. Alright, so if he doesn't have this morale boost, that healer's not going to be healing very often. Alright, I've talked about that before. I've talked that into the ground. But long story short, the Katins that people say are good healers, it's just sadly not true for that reason. Okay? Now, the next 2-star you want to keep an eye out for is the Lobster, the Starrock. Okay? And this is hard mode. He starts out as the Starrov, and then it becomes... I can't look at it on extreme. I don't think I can click on it. There I can, yeah. Star Roll, okay? So the Lobster, they just buffed him recently. He just got a massive buff, and now on his ultimate skill, skill number 2, he has Puncture. Applies a self buff that ignores 70% of the enemy's base resistance. Alright, also look at what he has here, guys. He has Morale Boost. Okay, so his main ability that makes him a useful 2-star is getting even more use because he's boosting his own SP. So, very, very nice 2-star unit for doing massive single target damage. Notice he is not hitting the entire team, he's only hitting one target, so that is the main downside to using him. He does not hit the team. However, he is very strong for a 2-star and does significant single target damage. In your first Golem 8 team, if you make him your first 6-star monster, or even a 5-star monster, and you give him good gems, he can almost one-shot the Golem, okay, in one turn. So he's that strong. So as a 2-star, yes, as simply a 2-star, a fire element lobster, he can almost one-shot the Golem 8 boss. Alright, so very strong 2-star unit. If you feel like building him up and using him, he's not a bad choice for doing massive single target damage and also increasing his own SP with a morale boost. So, excellent, excellent unit. Alright, so we're going to continue going along, keeping an eye out for good units. And I'm not showing you a full comprehensive list of every good 1, 2, and 3-star that you can use in this game. That's not what this is about. I'm showing you units to keep an eye out for as you're progressing through the early parts of the game, guys. As you're clearing this on normal and as you're clearing it on hard, it gives you targets to catch. Okay, so if you're not on a mission where you have to try and catch an Astromon 3 times, you may not be thinking, I need to catch monsters in this stage. I've already completed my capture quest for this area. I've captured every monster once, so I've got my free Astro Gems. I don't need to capture anymore. That may not be true, okay? Let's say you're going through this area. Let's say you already finished your clear capture quest, whatever, on normal mode, so now you're on hard, and you just blaze through and don't bother capturing anything. Every time I do a mission here, as I'm clearing it on hard, and then later as I'm clearing it on extreme, I will be capturing as many of these things as I can. I'll be making an Evo 3 fungus, which, when it turns to extreme mode, turns into this guy. Very cool looking, a Spore Fist. Alright? This guy is extremely strong single target. I'll be doing the same exact thing here in the Pagos Coast with the Lobster. Alright? As I go through, I'll be capturing as many of these as I can, because I'm going to Evo 3 him. Alright, so he'll be on my Fire team, and then on my Wind team, I'll be using the Spore Fist. The Spore Fist is one of... like, honestly, it's kind of mind-blowing how strong this 2-star unit is. He's going to be stronger and deal more damage than a lot of your 3-star, 4-star, and even some 5-star units, guys. Yeah, this guy is going to be insane for single target damage. Watch this. 100% SP. This is the only monster I've seen with this skill. I have not seen any other monsters with this skill. Granted, I don't know every monster in the game. But yeah, only monster I've run into that has this. This is insane. Every time he critical hits, which is why you need him with square slots, right? Because you need the gems that have square slots that have critical rate. So you got to make sure you get one with critical, or with square slots. Anyways, basically he's going to be using Spore Bomb every other turn. Turn 1, he uses Morale Boost and gets his SP up to 100%. The next turn, he uses Spore Bomb. The next turn, he uses Morale Boost. The next turn, he uses Spore Bomb again. So he's going to be built on crit. Guess what? His critical damage is increased by 50% with this skill. This guy is going to hit like an absolute truck. So if you want a really, really super strong wind unit that does tons of damage for your starting wind team that you take into Element Dungeon to farm water, Ascension element stuff for your starting water team, for Monas to ascend Monas, stuff like that. For areas where you need to take a wind team, this is a really strong unit to take. Again, the 2-star Spore Fist is insanely strong. Get him with square slots, get him critical rate, and he's good to go. Alright, So just wanted to point out those starting units to keep an eye out for, something to keep in mind. Those are units well worth building, even though they're only 2-star, and they're easy to get an Evo 3. So that's going to be it for the intro of this video. Let's go ahead and get started with the rest of it, but just wanted to give you guys that really good information to keep an eye out for. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Alright everyone, here we come to the next part of the episode where I'm going to show you some of the most amazing progress that I just made. Came upon the quest where it says to enter or play in the Golem dungeon a certain number of times. Okay, so I went ahead and I tried to clear to Golems B8 by myself. Unfortunately, I couldn't clear 6 and 7. Okay, I was able to clear up to 5 by myself, but I could not do 6 and 7. I had to use a friend to clear B8, or to clear B6 and B7. But then once I hit B8, guess what? I was able to do B8. No problems, didn't lose a single person. I think I can farm Golems B8 with my current team. That's actually kind of amazing because look at my team, guys. I did not really have to do that much to prepare. I used most of my resources on my main team. I made sure that it was full water, okay, and I've got the Mona. I have not 4-starred the Mona yet. The Mona is stuck at 3-star, level 30, okay? She didn't die. I just did Golems B8. She did not die, and this is her stats. Okay, I just made sure she was plenty tanky enough. All right, so she does have a trinket to give her some HP, very unenhanced small trinket, so it's not giving her much, but it is something. I have an HP gem, I have an attack gem, and I have a crit rate gem on a 2500 HP set, the Gem of Tenacity. So with these stats, I was able to, with a 3-star, complete Golems B8, guys. So don't be too intimidated by Golems B8. I'm telling you, it really is super easy. You just need a water team, and you need a good water team, but you don't need to be all level 50. You don't need to be all 5-star, none of that, okay? Just make sure you're spending your resources enhancing their gems, and you've got good gems. And you can just use the gems they give you as a free player, just like I did, okay? Don't have a whole lot of gems here, just using those gems they gave me. So you can do it. You can totally do it here. So my team is Persephone, Water Persephone, with lots of HP. In fact, I did not give Arthur his HP trinket, okay? That spot is empty. I kept his attack trinket on him, but I gave his HP trinket actually to Persephone. She's going to make more use, or, you know, take more advantage of the HP from this trinket. She's getting almost 10,000 HP from this trinket, which is a lot, plus a lot of defense and attack. So her max HP is actually really massive for an Evo 1 level 36 monster. That's insane. Okay, so her max HP is just going to get higher and higher and higher. She's already healing for an insane amount every single turn because of her skill 1. So I've got Water Persephone just trying to boost her HP as much as possible. If you haven't seen her gems yet, she's got a plus 12 HP percent, plus 12 flat HP, and a plus 12 HP percent, plus the trinket, you know, so gone all out to do that. Here we've got Arthur, and these are his stats, plus 10k HP, plus some attack. He's getting a lot of attack from his trinket, of course. Okay, and he's on attack, flat attack, and flat HP. As a balanced mon, he gains quite a bit of stats from flat runes. He, and of course, until you're max level 50 or 60, you actually get less from percentage runes than you do from flat runes. So using flat runes is actually better until you're max level 50 or 60. Then you get a little bit more from percentage runes, depending on what type of monster you're putting them on. Anyways, so Persephone, Water Arthur, and then here's my girl, Water Miho, right? She turns into Water Ram, but it's Water Miho. She's only Evo 2, guys, not even Evo 3. Just Evo 2, and she's on a defense set. She's got HP, she's got attack, and she's got attack, okay? On a defense plus 150 set, using the 5-star runes they give you, and these are her stats. Didn't lose her either. She did a great job. I don't even have full trinkets on all my people, and as you can see, like, I've got a 4-star and a 3-star. It was insane that I was able to complete the dungeon this early. So just I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. I had to upload the video right away. I wanted to make sure I uploaded the video before I leveled up my monsters more, so you could actually see how low level I am, and I'm still able to do the dungeon. Alright, so I'm actually going to show you that right now, okay? In case you don't believe me. Here, let's go ahead and take care of it. Oh, yes! Finally! Been trying to find a clan for a while, been posting in chat, been checking for active clans. Have not found a clan. Finally, somebody added me. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to accept it. Don't think I'm going to accept it. It's not looking like it's very active. It's only been active for 5 seasons. Now, they are a new clan, and it seems like it might be interesting to play with a new clan. I mean, it's an interesting idea. But this guy is on a new account. He's only a level 47 account, so I don't know, maybe this is a guy who's, you know, doing the same thing I'm doing, playing on a new account, re-rolling because he got bored of his main. I'm not sure. But I think I'm going to hold off and not accept this for now because it's a new clan, not a whole lot of active members. You could join and then you've only got 5 of you playing every day. I really want an active clan. I need a very active clan. You trust me, the amount of benefits you get from an active clan far outweigh the benefits you get if you've only got a couple of active members. It's worth holding out for an active clan. So I'm going to hold out a little bit more, try a little harder to get into a very active clan. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, so could not do B6 and B7 without a friend, so I used a friend. And I replaced Mona, my weakest member, who's a 3-star. I replaced the Mona with the friend, and that was able to get me through it. But here we are, B8. I'm going to use my core team. So you can't see the friends that I used, but I only have like 4 powerful friends. So as you can see, didn't have a whole lot to choose from, so it worked out pretty well for me though. So we're going to use this team. Critical hit rate. Doesn't really do a whole lot. I wish it was an HP lead. That would be even better. But here, let's show you guys what it looks like. Watch it fail this time. I wasn't actually watching, it was on auto, so I wasn't even watching. I just remember when it succeeded and everyone was alive, I was like, what? No way! I wasn't even sure it would work. Okay, so got one, turn 1. Very nice. Oh, she's already got defense down on her. They might all focus her next turn. But that's okay, it's only one monster. We should live. Alright, now watch the green number that pops up here. Watch the green number. 4,773 HP being healed every single turn by Persephone. And she's not even max level 50 or 60 yet. Okay, so there we go. First turn, round 2, everything but 1. Sorry about that. Not sure why that's happening. Hopefully it's not loud in the speakers for you guys. Alright, so very quick actually. So far, it's been a very fast run. I'm going to leave it on full auto, not even going to target the boss. I want to see how well they do if they're just autoing it without my intervention. So far, so good. Look at that, guys. I want to show you this as well. If you click this little sword, you can see who's doing the most damage. Alright, so Arthur did the most damage, but look at that. Look at that. Okay, so there you have it. Is that not the most incredible thing? A 3-star, a 4-star, not even max leveled 5 stars. Evo 1, Evo 2, not a single Evo 3 on the team. That's incredible. Alright. So yeah, don't be too intimidated by golems. If you want to start farming Golem B8 to get those square gems, to possibly give your monsters better gem quality as you're trying to tackle golems B10 and B11, right? As you're working your way into Golems B10 and B11 down here for those 5 to 6 star gems instead of 4 to 6 star gems. Also, you're only getting square gems here. Up here, you can get all of them. So the goal is, honestly, to move into B10 and B11. Preferably B11. That's where I'd like to sit and farm. But we're going to see how challenging it is and how long it takes to get there. I do think to take this on, I am going to have to 5-star. Make sure everyone's at least level 50. I might have to 6-star some monsters as well. We'll see. But I am going to try and do this before I get my first 6-star. I'm going to try it when everyone's level 50, and if we succeed, then that'll prove it. You guys can start farming B10 and B11 before you even get your first 6-star. So that will be awesome if I can make that happen in this video series. And that does it for what I was most excited about for this section of the video. We'll go ahead and stop here, and then if I find something else to put in the video, I'll go ahead and upload that. I'll see you guys in a minute.